causing mass discussion. Can't you see them dad boys are casting? Testing competition on their podcast mission. Never know what you get. It's chaotic precision. If you don't know, you better find out the dad pack. I'm here to prove a point. We three kings just believe that you don't want to tussle with them. This show is thunder. Subscribe and tune in, and you're laughing to the very end. Don't turn your back on the dad pack. Don't turn your back on the dad pack.
Put the kids to bed, dad's home. We are the DWO podcast, representing the dad world order. Where the jokes are bad, the advice is questionable, but the love is all real. I am the pretty face papaw, Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. And with me, as always, the rest of this patriarch pack. We've got the big bad bearded daddy. He is Big Rig Eric Maffey.
Honk if you hear me, baby. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. 10-4, good buddy. And he is the perpetual mid-carter and the two-time world record holder. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy. Oh, Cephas. Oh, no.
There it is. Cowabunga, baby.
Cowabunga, indeed. It is day 1328, and I figured since we had a special guest on, I'd rock a special 80s style Sting shirt today.
Oh,
Sting
it's so good. Love
that.
Well, as Mr. Magnificent said, we are the DWO podcast, and tonight we have probably one of the most special guests we've ever had on this show. Anybody that's tuning in right now, you already know who this man is, the one and only Weird Paul. Sir, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great, and it's really good to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for coming on. This is amazing.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on, man. I got to say, man, before we get too into much of a conversation, I got to give you your flowers right here at the start, man. Your videos provide a lot of comfort for me in the same way that I get from like a pro wrestling show or a sports event. I don't have to think about much, and I just purely enjoy it. And it's a great comfort to me, man. I really enjoy your content. I like the thing I like most about you is your authenticity. You are just exactly who you are, and that is I love that so much.
Well, thank you.
Also, just want to give a shout out to movie poster here, Weird Paul's Army Incoming. Please, by all means, y'all come watch, because you know what, we've been doing this about not nearly as long as you have. We've only been doing this about 3 years, so we got about 37 more to go to catch up with how long you've been on the screen. But we really enjoy doing it. So
that's great.
Without guys like you kind of leading the way in this stuff, I don't think we ever would have started this thing. And honestly, one of the biggest things I got from watching your content, especially your documentary, it makes me want to do. Lost Paul.
No.
No,
He's still there.
There he is.
Your
Lost
internet
you for a second.
that's you, Papa.
Yeah, that's you, buddy. Your internet must be pooping on you.
All good? You good?
We're good.
Yeah. He's not good.
Is it just
He's
me?
not good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just you, bud.
Oh, God damn it.
Anywho.
Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. You know what? I have a brand new router sitting next to me right now. Just haven't set it up yet. So
There you go.
you're just going to have to deal with that for right now. But basically your content, it's inspired me to I want to make more content than just this show. It makes me want to do just goofy little ideas that I have in my head. Just go out and do them, because you never know what someone might find entertaining.
Well, I'm glad to be an inspiration. That's how I feel when I'm watching something that inspires me, and I say, man, I haven't done anything in my life yet. What's wrong with me? And I because I see somebody else that's like doing something that really impresses me, and that's how I feel. So I understand the feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got to ask you, organization-wise, when it comes to your footage, have you digitized everything already? Have you gotten everything from your old VHS tapes into the digital world? I don't know what your status is on capturing all your old stuff and not letting the tapes degrade and stuff.
I don't think Absolutely, everything has been digitized. The higher percentage of it has, though. Unfortunately, though, when I started digitizing it, I didn't really know what I was doing. So I think that some of it was digitized in a way that it's not real. It's not as clear as it could be. It's a little bit pixelated, and I probably should go back from the beginning. And I just bought like a huge 8 terabyte drive, so that's something I want to do. Is just like really just let it all roll, just the whole thing from beginning to end, and make sure it's all saved. Because I mean, some of those tapes are still just the quality is amazing, and then of course there's a couple where it's really starting to degrade. So
right. Well, I never knew this, and I actually got this from a different content creator that I follow, who's also a big fan of the '80s. Matt McCarthy. He's an actor, but his TikTok account is all about it's the Video Garage, and he collects VHS tapes. Yeah, I love him to death. I did not realize that VHS tapes could grow mold on them.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the same kind of mold as mold that grows on food or anything like that.
Right.
They call it mold, and yeah, it will ruin your VCR if you put it in like that. There are machines that they made back in the day to clean that off, but they were very, very expensive, and really only libraries and institutions like that would be able to buy those. So nowadays you could pick those up used, but they're still on the high end, but they're not like ridiculously priced like they used to be. So that's the kind of thing that I want to maybe invest in at some point.
Yeah, that's definitely something that you're going to need in the future to make sure you get all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. Organization of your physical things. How do you have like a whole room for just collectible stuff? Do you have multiple rooms? Like how do you manage stuff? Like if I was like, hey, Weird Paul, what do you have pro wrestling wise? Would you know exactly where to look, or is some stuff in totes, or how do you keep track of so much neat stuff?
Yeah, it's in multiple rooms, and I use mostly shelving units and totes to keep everything on. And I try to I've always had really good organizational skills ever since I was even a kid, so I like to keep everything that's similar together so it's easy to find. And, I the other night I was doing a live stream and somebody said, do you have this? And I said, hold on. I got up on my chair and grabbed it, and I was back on screen within like 10 seconds. So I know where everything is pretty well. It's just all up in my head. I don't have it cataloged on paper or online or anything, but I just know where everything is generally, and I'm able to find it. I always say, try to keep your living spaces clear of that kind of stuff, like your living room, your bedroom, your bathroom, your kitchen. Those rooms that you shouldn't have like a ton of stuff like just laying around or stored, you know what I mean? But then I have dedicated places where I keep my collection. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was my deal I made with my wife. Is like I got the basement, and I got to do whatever I wanted with the basement, and she gets the rest of the house.
There you go.
It's fair trade. I got all my toys down here. I got my own bathroom.
Yeah.
I got toys in that too.
It's wonderful.
We actually have a question here. Is there a McDonald's toy room, or do you collect all the old like 80s McDonald's toys or anything like that, or the cups and all that stuff?
I have a lot of McDonald's stuff. I mean, I don't. The thing is that there's nothing that I say I'm going to collect every single one of this thing.
Sure.
And complete that because for one thing, there's too many different things that I'm interested in for me to just pick what am I focusing on. And the other reason though is I never had a lot of money in my life at any point. So I've always I've never wanted to spend a lot of money on anything.
Sure.
So I'm a budget collector, strictly a budget collector. I don't like to pay more than $1 for anything. So
I love that.
I don't go out and say, I'm going to go find this, no matter what it costs, I'm going to buy it. I don't do that. What I do is I go out and see what they got and what it is priced. And then I make an informed decision on what I'm going to add to my collection that day. So that way I don't spend a lot of money, and I can just add a little bit to this. I can add a little bit to this collection, the video games, the Star Wars figures, whatever, but I don't have to, I don't just concentrate on one thing. But I do have a lot of McDonald's stuff.
It's kind of one of those things that, everything kind of means a little bit more. It's not necessarily a completionist thing where you have to have every single thing. It's just like, oh, hey, I remember when I got that, and I got that because that meant a lot to me, and I could get it for myself, you know?
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, man. I'm especially a fan of the stuff that you had to send a whole bunch of tabs in or send. I know a lot of those are just kind of rinky-dink toys, but those are probably some of my favorite videos of yours.
Well, thank you. I mean, you know, some of that stuff is very collectible now, and even some of it is expensive to get now. But that's how it was when I was a kid. I didn't really own a lot of. My parents didn't buy me a lot of brand new items. Most of the stuff I had growing up, everything, clothes, toys, books, everything was all used. That it had been somebody else's before, and so we had gotten it and it didn't pay much for it. And so that was kind of just went on as my life went on that way. And so we mailed in a lot of labels for stuff because we bought it anyway, and it didn't cost anything to get it. That was the great thing about it.
Absolutely.
And some of it was great. That wagon that you just posted, I don't know if that's a new video or if that's just one you had reposted, but that wagon, the videos of the wagon, I was like, wow, you got that for just sending in stuff? Like,
right?
They need to do that more.
I used to love doing that, man.
Imagine getting like something like that now. I mean, that's long over. That era is long over. So.
Yeah, I used to remember sending in box tops off cereal.
Yeah,
we used to send those in all the time and get stuff for like school and stuff like that. Yeah, we did that all the time. It was a good time. We also have, this is a good friend of ours tuning in, Mr. Justin Deming. It's a peanut butter recall. I remember them all. And that, I'll tell you what, that is one of those songs that we were kind of talking about before we got on the show. Just every single song I've heard you sing, I'm just like, yes, I would listen to this over and over and over again. They're so much fun, man. I love your music. It's wonderful.
Thank you very much.
Every time I cook, I'm singing the macaroni song.
I love it.
Is that where that song came from you? I've been wondering that since I've heard it. Did you just one day you were making macaroni and wrote that right there?
That song came to me in a dream. There was like a period where I was just having all these songs. I would just wake up with this song that I'd been dreaming. That song in particular was really special because I was dreaming that I was in a courtroom and this guy that was in my band, he was on trial for something, I don't know what. And the judge called a recess and everybody walked out. And then this big band came in with like brass instruments and everything. And they all like just set up. And then they started playing that song, Pot of Macaroni. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, wow, that's going to be a big hit. So I had to like finish writing the rest of it.
Yeah.
So I even write songs while I'm sleeping.
That's amazing. I love that.
Even in his sleep, he's working.
And I'll tell you this, one of the things I noticed when I was watching the documentary, it seems like a lot of your songs do have some sort of prop or toy or some kind of physical element to the song, whether it's a beach ball or, inflatable guitar or the jar of peanut butter. Yeah. And that really made me happy because that's actually a big thing in this guy's band right down here, Mr. Wrestling T-shirt guy. And it just reminded me of that. And I'm just like, I love that. That's because I love going to his shows. Their shows are so much
awesome.
Fun. They're called Toy Box, and I'm sure Cephas will tell you why.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
We throw toys at the crowd and encourage them to throw back at us. So it's a wild thing. I know for sure, and we could talk about this after the show, of course, but I know we need to book a Weird Paul band out in Cincinnati for sure, man.
I've played in Cincinnati a few times.
Yeah,
really.
We need to make that happen again, man. And my band needs to open up for you. That sounds like a great event for this group to host and for my band to play. You know what I mean? And we could make some money, so it's always fun. Here's two of my band. There's Dart being belligerent. And Dan saying hi. Those are both band members of mine.
What's up, Dan?
Nice.
Party Mike. What up, Mike?
What's up, Party Mike?
What do you say, Party Mike? That's our friend Party Mike. He's
Hi, Party Mike.
Yeah, man. So are you I haven't noticed a lot of it, but are you a big wrestling fan? I know you watched WrestleMania in a weird way. I saw that video, but are you a big wrestling fan?
I mean, I was back in the 80s.
The golden days.
There's the thing about that I've noticed about life as life has gone on is I have had to, because my interests are so varied, and it's like I can only devote so much time to this and so much time to that, and especially now that I'm just like working constantly, making content and live streaming and making music and everything. It's like I seem to have less and less time all the time. So I just don't have there's so many things that I'm interested in and that I want to pursue and enjoy, but I just don't have time to do that. So, but you know, obviously when I was growing up, I had tons of time. That was when you're a teenager, you have the most time pretty much you'll ever have in your life. So,
Right.
my sister and I watched wrestling every week. We'd look in the TV listings to see, because there was different types of wrestling on at
Oh yeah.
different times, different days, different channels. You know, we tracked it all down so we could watch everything, because seeing WrestleMania is what did it for me. That's what got me into wrestling.
Do you have a guy that was like your guy? Like my favorite, for example, is Macho Man. I've got him tattooed on my arm here.
Well, Junkyard Dog was my favorite.
JYD.
Yeah.
JYD
Absolutely.
is the man. I cannot tell you how many people I've met that JYD was their favorite wrestler.
That's awesome.
And usually you would think, and it's all like guys, grew up in the 80s, and usually you'd be like, oh, they were probably a Hulk Hogan fan or a Macho Man fan. And there are so many guys I've met that were like, JYD, he was the best. He was my favorite.
Yeah.
And you go back and watch JYD and you're like, oh, yeah, I get it. He's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, my favorite wrestlers weren't always the ones that I would expect. Like, I love George the Animal Steel,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude looked like he was wearing a sweater with his shirt off.
He did.
Well, that's kind of how I am too. So I obviously grew up a decade later. I grew up in the 90s. But Mankind, Mick Foley, Dude Love, Cactus Jack, whatever you want to call him, he was my favorite. And I grew up in the era of, Stone Cold and The Rock, who, those were everybody's favorite.
My son was into all of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I loved Mankind. He was kind of this little oddball off to the side. Nobody ever really gave him a chance, but he was amazing, and I loved him.
Yep. All right, I got a comment in here asking for me to show it to him, so I might as well show him the belt T-shirt guy. I got the Intercontinental Championship that Macho Man at that WrestleMania on my belly. So,
wow.
Yeah, I take this shit serious, kind of.
Props.
Do you have any tattoos, Paul?
I don't.
You're tattooless.
I'm tattooless.
If you were to
I always tell people this is my tattoo. Everybody always asks, why do you have this haircut? And my favorite band is the Ramones. But instead of getting like a Ramones tattoo or whatever, I just got this haircut. It's like
Johnny Ramone
tattoo. Yeah.
Forever. Yeah.
And you're a how many time best hair winner?
I lost track. I think 5. They stopped having that as a category. I guess because I won too
Just
many
shut them
times.
down.
Yeah.
Like, well, we can't really have this.
Our boy Justin, as always, no tattoos. That's weird.
That's me.
I love it so much. And then our boy Brad here talking about I miss being able to go to Hollywood Video and rent old wrestling movies.
Yeah.
I mean, the funny thing is like obviously when I was a kid, Blockbuster was around, Hollywood Movie was around, but my parents did not want to pay for a membership, so we rented our movies from the library. That was our video store. But I do remember going and getting VHSs and stuff like that. And you definitely miss it for sure. It was always like a fun like treat. Like I want to rent a movie.
How you had to like scramble if whatever you went there, you had in mind, it like wasn't rented out or whatever, and you're like, option B, boom.
Yeah, what else
B
am I gonna
there.
get? Yeah.
Right. Then you're scrambling. You're like, well, let's watch something old. All right. And kids don't have that experience now. It's just there, No,
that's the thing.
The convenience is nice, but man, the makes you want it more and appreciate it more when you gotta wait or
absolutely. That's what I get asked all the time. What were the 80s like? And I always say the 80s were like patience. That's what it was all about. It was all about having patience, because now everything is immediate, and back then it wasn't like that. Almost anything you wanted, you had to like wait some amount of time for.
Yeah.
All we need is just a little patience.
I keep telling my kids, man, they have an open, like, anytime they can show me the end credits of a video game, I will give them $50 cash. I have told them this, and my kids are almost 18, 11, and 7, and none of them have ever done this. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, if I was a kid and my dad said, show me the credits and I'll give you $50, he would have been broke. And I would have had every toy ever.
Yeah.
Imagine your dad saying that to you, like, "Hey, if you finish this video, okay, you want to rack up $500 in a week? Like, what do you?"
I can't imagine my dad saying that to me. I really can't.
Right. Hold on, I just saw a comment. I wanted to. Man, these are just going. Thank you for everybody that's tuning in. By the way, we are trying to get through the comments. There are quite a few.
Make sure all y'all are hitting like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps a lot. It really does.
Absolutely.
I know everybody says that, but it's a legitimate thing. The more you do it, the more people see it. So.
This is what I wanted to ask you. Were you a concert goer at all? I know you said you never really had a lot of money, but like, did you ever go to any concerts back in the 80s or anything like that?
Not really. I wanted to, of course, but I just didn't have any money growing up. I went to see Weird Al Yankovic in 1985. That was my first concert.
Dang.
And he was like, I mean, geez, he was really, really young back then, man. It was like pretty special. But I would credit seeing that concert. That's what made me start to do live performances. I started doing them in my living room for my parents and my family. And I was totally influenced by seeing Weird Al live to start doing that. And then by the end of the 80s, our living room was just full of kids from high school coming over to watch me play because I was doing this crazy stuff. But I'm trying to remember. The only bands I saw in the 80s I could think were Weird Al. Then nothing until 1988. I saw Henry Rollins and I saw the Ramones in 88. And that Ramones show that's probably my favorite show I've ever been to.
Oh, gosh.
Just funny you mentioned
that had to be awesome.
My band's about to open up for what's left of Black Flag now, which is pretty cool because I'm a big Henry Rollins guy myself, even though he's not in the band anymore.
Right.
But part of me that's like, you know what? It's like 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You know, I'm pretty much friends with Henry Rollins now. You know, that's
sure. Right.
Oh man.
I'm trying to make up for it now. I'm trying to see. I mean, there's just so many that are gone completely. There's no way to see a lot of people live now. Right. I'm trying to make up for it and do what I can now that I can actually do it. So
I didn't see a lot of concerts as a kid either, and I feel like my kids see so many. Yeah. I mean, my son writes me today. He texts me, I'm at work. He's like, "Hey, I got us tickets, and it's a concert in like November. It's like a small little venue down in Louisville, Kentucky." And all right, guess we're going to a concert.
All right, guess we're going. Whatever.
It's amazing though. But you know, it's I didn't really think about that though. I mean, even like, you know, we talk about a lot like small time like indie wrestling shows. I never thought about going that because I never have anybody around me to kind of like be like, you know, hey, you should check this out. This is cool. This is as good or better what's on TV, you know. And
yeah.
But you know,
case for us, right?
Making up for it now.
I definitely get that from my daughter. Where she's like, she loves music and everything, but she's just always has her AirPods in, listening on Spotify and stuff like that. And same thing with the streaming services where she's like, oh, I can't log into Disney Plus or whatever. And I'm like, I just go back and think, and I'm like, I was lucky to have the movies that I did at home. And now you're like, oh, I can't log into one streaming service that all the other one, there's a million other movies out there. But it's just so crazy, the separation of, you know, she's grown up with this her whole life. You know, grew into it, as it were. We all did. But same with the music, you know, like I remember going, you know, and getting CDs and stuff like that. I was a little bit after the vinyl era, but I remember going and being like, oh, this new album just dropped. I'm going to go get the CD. And, you know, I was also part of the LimeWire era, which was, that was chaotic. But yeah, it's just crazy that now it's all at the touch of a fingertip.
Yeah, and limitless choices. You know.
For sure. Do you have in your collection?
Yeah.
Is there that's the number one thing? Like, if the house was being hit by a meteor, I'm running in and grabbing this one thing. Do you have a number one piece collectible?
I don't really, because I find that
Say your
to
wife.
me, well, my wife is not a collectible. I don't.
That's fair.
Anything
answer.
that's replaceable, I wouldn't run back for anything that's replaceable. I mean, what would be important to me would be my videotapes, all the audio tapes of me talking back when I was 10. That I haven't really even done anything with that content yet. I have like 30 tapes of 30 hours of tapes of me talking when I was growing up. I have all my journals for my entire life. It's like my entire history of my life in written form. That's the kind of stuff that I would.
Yeah. Okay.
That I would want to rescue. If I could.
That's irreplaceable for sure.
But anything else, I feel like anything else you could easily replace. Not easily replace, but you know what I mean. You could replace.
Yes. Yeah. You're not replacing you. So.
Yeah.
It's kind of an eerie thought to think of, Paul, but in the event when you do eventually leave this world, posthumously, when all of this stuff is compiled, if the right editor gets behind this, you could be one of the greatest documentaries of all time. The final Weird Paul documentary. You know what I mean? I feel like that could be some really neat stuff, man. You're preserving an entire generation of people in a way.
Yeah. Well, I feel like lots of people don't really get their due until after they're gone. So
This is true.
I say that all the time. I may not live to see it happen. I really, really feel like my story is important enough to the point where it'll actually be turned not into a documentary, but there'll actually be a movie about me with actors portraying me and whoever else in my life and stuff. That'll happen someday, I believe, but I probably won't be here when that happens.
Who would you have portray you? What
That's
actor?
a good question. I mean, see, I used to always say Steve Buscemi, but he's too old now.
Yeah.
There was a time though when he was like,
oh, Buscemi would have been perfect.
Sure. But now I don't really know anymore. I'm not really sure. But by the time it happens, it'll be like a whole new.
I don't know. You've got that kind of slim look. I feel like what's his name from Juno and Superbad,
Michael Cera.
Yeah,
Michael Cera could do
that's
it.
possible. Yeah,
Riveting performance.
I could see that. Yeah.
You know, hopefully it's not Michael Cera, because if that was the case, that would probably mean that your death was soon, and we don't want that.
Right.
We don't want that. We want somebody we've never heard of.
Somebody not born yet.
Yes, exactly.
Now you were saying you haven't really done anything with the audio tapes, right?
Right.
Have you thought about like maybe working? I don't know. I remember from the documentary you said your wife's very artistic. Does she like draw or anything like that?
Yeah.
What I mean, I'm just kind of thinking of stuff in my head, but like with it just being audio tapes, maybe doing like an animated, like along with the audio thing or something like that. That could be, I don't know, something cool.
Something has. Well, I mean, that's another reason I bought that 8 terabyte drive, is I want to digitize. I mean, none of that's been digitized. That's the thing. Those tapes are from 1979 to 1984.
Wow.
So those are going to deteriorate maybe even faster. I don't know. I need to start working on this now while I still can. But it's, I'm like 9 years old in these tapes. And what I really want to do is just like make a series of albums that are just chronicling me as a kid goofing around on this tape recorder, because I think that really it just totally relates to, it's just a transitory thing onwards to everything else that everybody's already enjoying seeing me do. So
I gotta agree with this comment here. You definitely look good for someone born in the 70s.
Thank you, Justin.
Yeah, you're definitely holding up together pretty well, at least visually.
I do my best.
Yeah. So, what about young and crazy Paul? Were you did you do any sports at all? I know you stayed at home a lot, but did you play anything? Were you active at all, or were you just kind of in the house a lot?
I was in the house. I was out in the yard a lot. I had 2 sisters and a brother, so we were always doing something crazy, whether we were playing outside or inside. But I didn't like school, so because I got picked on all the time. by everybody. Sure. I started school a year earlier than everybody else. I started kindergarten when I was 4. And so I was already, just because I was able to pass the aptitude test. So I was scrawny and tiny and, and I was an easy target.
Yeah.
I was younger. And so that followed me the entire way through going to school. Though there was just not really many other kids that got picked on more than I did. A couple. So I wasn't able to really make any friends.
That sucks,
most of the time.
You're a gem of a fucking person, and a lot of those people are that picked on you are probably not in the greatest place in their lives. You know what I mean?
Some of them probably aren't even around anymore.
Yeah.
I got ostracized, and so I just kind of focused on doing what my brain told me to do. My brain said, you're supposed to be creating stuff, and that's what I did. I just started creating all kinds of stuff, and I don't think anyone really understood, and that was another reason why no one wanted to really talk to me or be around me, because I was ahead of my time. Like now, content creation you're cool. If you had a bunch of people watching your content, that you're cool. But back then, that wasn't a thing. So I just, it wasn't until I think my senior year of high school, partway through my senior year of high school, that people actually asked me to come and eat lunch with them. They said, hey, before that, I ate by myself every day. And then suddenly they had to kick somebody out at some other table to move me in, So they're like, oh, wow, Paul is doing some really interesting stuff.
Wow.
We had no idea. So by then, of course, I only had like about 6 months left in school, and that was it. And then I never saw any of those people again anyway.
Right.
So that wasn't really a thing for me, wanting to do extracurricular activities, be in gym class. I wasn't a good athlete. I was tiny. I wasn't strong. My dexterity was bad. So I just stayed away from all of that.
Plus, I bet a lot of people that would be doing the bullying would probably be into those type of things too. So it's just
sure. I mean, on dodgeball, I would just get my ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's such a shame, man. And I try to tell my kids too, because like I got kids, like one is in 6th grade, and there'll be times where she talks about how her friend said this really mean thing to her, and I'm like, Maya, at some point, kid, you're not even going to remember this person.
Right.
Like I can name 3 people from my school that I still talk to. You know what I mean? And that's all 13 years. There's a bunch of them that if I see it like Circle K, I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? You know what I mean? There's tons of those highs, but 3 real friends. You know what I mean? And I'm lucky to have that. You know what I mean? So not a lot of people keep that many friends. I don't. So I don't know. It's a shame. It's a shame because you were a diamond in the rough at such a young age, man. I look at some of your content, I'm like, man, I would have fucking hung out with Paul for sure.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes I'll have people I went to high school with, they'll contact me or something, and they'll be like, oh, Paul, I wish that we had hung out more, or I have a recording studio now. I would have loved you to record here, whatever. And I'm thinking, you're the one who told me I had no talent. Right. You're the one who used to kick my ass in science class. So like, it's kind of ridiculous in retrospect to hear that.
Well, part of you's got to be like, yeah. Now you want me,
Now you want to hang out. Yeah. I'll tell you what, our boy Justin Deming he comes in with the witticisms, but sometimes comes in with the sage advice. There are different kinds of strength. Following your authentic self and creating things is incredibly strong.
Amen.
Few people are brave enough to follow their arrow wherever it points.
It's true.
Are absolutely correct, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, Justin's the man. Justin, thank you for tuning in, man. We love you so much. Another thing I wanted to ask, though, because I didn't really get a whole lot of it out of the documentary, and I am not fully caught up on the Weird Paul lore on social media. Was there? I know in the documentary you talked about like movie review shows and stuff like that. You enjoyed that. Was there a certain type of movie you really enjoyed, or were you just a movie fanatic in the 80s? Because the 80s was renowned for movies, you know what I mean? Yeah. So was it just kind of like everything that came out, you were just like, oh, this is amazing? Or did you have a certain genre you really liked?
Well, we didn't go to the movies when I was growing up. So
sure.
I barely ever, I could count how many movies I saw in the 80s on these 2 hands, and that's it. But I was really into movies. I loved watching movies on TV, and then when VHS came out, then renting movies. But people always ask me, did you see this? A lot of times movies people will mention from the 80s, I still haven't seen. Some movies I didn't see from the 80s until the 90s or the 2000s or something. I'm still catching up on a lot of stuff. But the thing is, my interest in movies always skewed older. Like, I wanted to watch the movies that I knew that grown-ups were watching more than I wanted to watch movies that teenagers were the stars. And I think one reason for that was there's a movie with a bunch of kids in school and this is the trouble they get into and stuff, but I didn't have that experience. My experience was I'm getting bullied and nobody's my friend. So I didn't really watch any of that John Hughes stuff growing up. That wasn't my reality. So I watched, what I remember watching was like Burt Reynolds movies. I love Burt Reynolds, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase. Those are the kind of comedians I love. John Belushi. And a lot of those movies were rated R, but I was watching them on TV where they cut out all that stuff or whatever. But that was what I wanted to see. I wasn't interested really in watching movies where teenagers were in the lead. The only exception I can really think of is War Games.
War Games, great.
I was really, really into that idea because I was obsessed with video games and everything, and I thought that was really cool. But I'm like I said, I'm still catching up. There's still a bunch of stuff that I'm still trying to see because people ask me all the time. The big one is Stand By Me. Everybody's like, "What do you think of Stand By Me?" I'm like, "I haven't seen Stand By Me."
Yeah,
it's rated R.
So I'm not sure if it was or not.
I went to show it to my kids when they were younger, and I'm like, I'm looking, I'm like, oh shit, it's rated R.
Is it rated R? Okay.
Yeah,
well, that explains probably why I didn't see it growing up because my parents would not have rented something like that. I was kind of down to what my parents rented,
Yeah, I saw so much in like the 80s and the early 90s on like network TV where they would play on like Saturday afternoons and Sunday afternoons and stuff. So, have you written a book? Has anybody ever approached you about writing a book? You mentioned the journals, and I immediately started thinking like I could see a book deal out of that. You got to have some sort of interest in someone wanting to put a biography of you together.
Yeah, no one's approached me about writing a book. No one really approaches me much about anything, honestly. But
really,
surprisingly, I'm
glad we did. That is for sure.
There's like these things happen, and I'm like, oh man, something's going to happen for sure. After a while, I started to like not have that reaction anymore. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool, but no expectations here, because these like crazy things just keep happening to me all the time, and I get noticed by somebody really famous or whatever. But I'm not really, I zero expectations. I found out it's the best way to go. But I want to write my story because I can. I have just this massive amount of material to write it, and it is actually a very interesting story. And when they do make the movie out of the book, there's going to be at least 3 really cool car stunts. So I'm really excited about it. Everything takes so much time. And right now, my focus in my life right now is I finally quit my job at the mall. I'm finally doing what I always wanted to do with my life. It took me until I was 54 years old, but I have to maintain that now. I have to just stay at this level where I don't have to go back and work for somebody and make them money. And that I can follow my dreams. That's the most important thing to me, is to follow my dreams, because I'm getting older. This is my chance. Finally, I have to take it. And so I can't always put my attention where I want it. I would love to, I want to write a song, or I want to record a new album, or I want to work on my book. But I have to focus on the reality of the situation, which is I have to pay my bills. So I'll have as much fun as I can doing that.
Hey man, that's all we can hope for when we do stuff like this. You know what I mean? We don't make any money from this. In fact, we spend money on this quite often. But for us, it's the experience. If we never do anything but interview cool people like you, and only so many people see it, so be it. When we pass away, our kids can look at it as a diary of sorts of their dads, talking about a copious amount of different things. Because, we go from conspiracy theories to music to wrestling to whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever tickles our fancy. So, there's a lot of content here for them, so it's a legacy for us.
It's a legacy.
Yeah. It's I don't know, it's worth it. You know what I mean? if I spend 10 hours on something and it gets 100 views, I'm just as happy as if it gets 100,000 views. You know what I mean? So
It's a great legacy. And also, the way I feel about it is it's paying your dues.
yeah.
And you have to pay your dues. I paid my dues for decades, man. So I deserve now. I don't feel guilty at all saying I deserve whatever I get because I paid my dues.
Absolutely.
You've been working longer than every other content creator on earth. Let's be real. I don't think there's any other person that has as much content from the 80s as you do. So you were definitely the original. And you definitely deserve everything to come your way for sure.
Thank you.
Speaking of things coming your way,
10,000 hours of mastery right there.
You do have a PO box that people can send you neat old stuff, right?
Yeah. I've gotten. I always say I probably have gotten a huge percentage. I would say maybe 40% of the stuff in my collection has come from my followers, fans, friends. Yeah.
Wow.
I got
awesome.
I got a few old things I'm gonna send your way for sure, man. I think.
Okay.
Plus, we'll get you a DWO shirt or something as well.
Nice. I love it. Will wear.
I have to say that. You like the movies? Or were you a book guy? Did you like reading growing up at all? Or?
Yeah. When I was a kid, I didn't have very much as far as toys are concerned or anything like that. But I had a lot of books because my parents got them from whatever other kids got rid of them. So I spent a lot of time reading. Just one reason why I was able to start school earlier than everybody else, because I had already mastered reading at a much higher level than anybody that I went to school with. So I read a lot of books. I started writing my own books too. When I was, I'm trying to remember how old I must have been, maybe 5. I started writing my own books. Of course, they were very simplistic, but still. And I was, that's something I've always enjoyed doing. Reading and writing has always been something I've loved doing. I used to go to the library all the time. My parents took me there all the time. In the 90s, when I was an adult, I was going to the library all the time and just reading all the time. And I don't get a lot of time to read anymore, but I always read right before bed. I always make sure I read.
That really is one of those things. I used to fall asleep with the TV on all the time, and I've gotten away from doing that because I find I sleep better. And that's one of the things I started doing again, because when I was a kid, I always read before bed, and it always made me just want to fall asleep. Like I love to read, but it always made me like, all right, it's time to go to bed. And I started doing that again here and there. And every time I do, I'm just like, this is so nice. Obviously, life gets hectic, and sometimes I just straight up go to sleep. But you know what I mean.
Sure.
But one of my favorite things, the reason I bring up the reading, one of my favorite books that is just everything 80s is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. And so I didn't grow up in the 80s, but when I read that book, I can imagine, almost what it was like, because it's just I love everything about that book. It brings out all the nerd in me, and it makes me so happy. It's one of my favorite ones.
It was
great book.
It was such simpler times, man. I think it's like, as you go back generations, it was simpler and simpler, and everybody's bubble was smaller and smaller. And now the world's so freaking wide open. Everybody knows everything. But back then, man, it was like, you talk about going to the library. I remember doing that as a kid and it being such a huge deal to get a new book, get you a new Choose Your Adventure book or something like that. And how big of a deal that was. There was one television in the house, and, it may or may not be turned on in the evening. You got to watch whatever your parents were into, if they allow you to. And it was such things were simple things were a much bigger deal back then, man. It's unfortunate, that everything nowadays is taken for granted.
So fast paced.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Short attention spans.
Yeah.
The older we get, the faster it moves too. I always thought that was just some kind of weird phenomenon, but I heard somebody talk about how when you're younger, the first 7 years, those are a year is the longest thing you've ever went through. You know what I mean? So that's why it seems longer when you're young. And then as you get older, I'm about to turn 38, you know what I mean? And this past year has went by like that.
Yeah, but I'm 54. I told my mom, I said, the years are just going by so much faster now that I'm 54. My mom is 78. I said, how fast do they go for you? And she's like, you wouldn't believe how fast they go.
I blink
It's
and it's
crazy.
10 years.
Yeah.
It's true.
I mean, that's how I felt. I mean, and I'm sure you felt this too with your son growing up. Like my daughter's 9, and like just seeing her go off to school this year, I'm like, no, you were just 4. Like what happened in this? Like it's amazing to me because this year she kind of went from being a little kid to being a young adult. It was a
Yeah.
very transitional, 8 to 9, almost 10. And now it's just like, oh my God, slow down, please. Because it's crazy.
It's scary, man. And then social media puts all them videos out there where it shows like a messy kid's room, and then it says, "This all stops eventually." And I'm like, damn it, stop doing this to me. He's sitting there sobbing, looking at my phone,
Yeah.
So off of the sad shit, let's talk about cool shit. You just recently got to share the stage, and you are now. Did they make you an official member of Green Jello, or you just perform?
They didn't tell me that they did, so I won't accept that as a reality until I hear differently. But
yeah, well, I am one of the 1,000 members of Green Jello.
Nice.
I got to perform with them a few times. My band, I think we played with them 6 times, and they're just a wild, crazy bunch of guys.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, my band actually got hooked up with them because we cover Three Little Pigs. My band has gotten a lot of hype from Three Little Pigs. People love it. So when Green Jello came around, they were like, "Oh, we want you to play this." I was like, "Wait, we're opening up for you. Like, you sure you want me to play your number one song?" He was like, "Not only do I want you to play it, I want to watch you play it." So we got to play our version of it with Bill out in the audience, and it was just really super sweet. How did you get hooked up with Green Jello? Did you just go to their show, or how did this happen for you?
Bill just messaged me out of the blue. Really? Yeah, he just said, "I like your videos, and are any of our shows coming up near you? We'd like you to come out." And
that's
so
super.
I did. Yeah.
Bill is a unique person.
Yes.
Very unique person. He's left more pants than any person I've ever met in my life. I don't know if he did that at the show you were at, but he's literally taken his pants off and thrown them into the ceiling or into a tree or wherever where he can no longer reach them, and then they remain in that venue forever. It's the weirdest thing ever, man. I bet he's done it 5 times. Like, I bet I've seen him do it 5 times, and it's just like my buddy. We had a concert in his backyard. And they are like, he was so excited that Bill threw his pants in the tree that a few days later he climbed up with a ladder and screwed them into the tree. So they would permanently be a part of his show.
Yes.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, Bill Manspeaker's pants are on Sycamore Avenue in Hamilton.
You get like a plaque underneath it.
Yeah.
Like one of those like historic like
off here
placards.
That is great.
Oh man, Paul, it's been super awesome to have you on, man. We don't really, like I said when we started this, we don't have a lot of structure to this, but we do have a few questions that we ask every single person every time we have a show.
Okay.
Mike asked the first question, and then Eric will follow up with the second. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so as dads, we're all very budget-minded individuals. We spoke about earlier. We'd like to, get a read on our guest about what you keep your thermostat set to.
Well, I keep it set. It's to where the thing is all the way to the end.
Oh gosh.
And then if I get cold, then I move it up a little.
Okay. He's like, it's cold.
I don't even know. Just till I'm comfortable.
Like I can't tell you a number because it's like not really a number. It's just
Is it hold on, do you still have like the dial form of thermostat?
No, it's a little stick that you move.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the stick.
The physical.
That's awesome.
That's great.
It's got it set like a hotel room.
Well, I'll tell you this. Yeah, even his thermostat is vintage. Before I ask our last question, I do want to get this one in because this is a very good question. How does Weird Paul feel about the reemergence of older physical media formats? It's funny how things like vinyl records and cassettes and VHS are popular again.
Well, on the one hand, I think it's awesome that people are enjoying things that I always thought were awesome. Whenever they whenever those things were not cool anymore, I still thought they were cool. I was still buying vinyl records in the 90s when everybody was getting rid of them. In fact, I was buying the ones that people were getting rid of because you were picking them up for nothing, man.
Right.
People are like, oh my God, how do you have all those Captain Beefheart albums? Oh, somebody was getting rid of them. Now I have them.
Somebody threw them out.
So, but, then of course the other side of the coin is now there's something I really want. Getting it is not going to be as easy these days because it's like, I used to go to the thrift store, and there's the VHS tapes, the shelf was just absolutely, the whole shelf was caving in from all the tapes in it. And now there might be one.
Right.
Because somebody came in and bought them all, man. It's the same thing with the cassettes and the records, and everybody keeps moving the prices up higher and higher on everything. So it's not like it's not as easy to collect those things anymore.
Sure.
So, I do appreciate how everybody's into it again. I think it's really cool, but it's not easy as a collector.
Sure. I think it's a way, kind of how we were talking about everything so fast paced now. I think it's almost the reemergence of it is people wanting to slow back down a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah,
I've been
it's
saying
like,
that lately.
I don't need to just do a Spotify playlist. You know what? I'm going to put a vinyl record on and I'm going to just listen to the whole album and clean the house or, whatever. It's a way to, all right, let's relax a little bit. And, not everything has to be at the touch of a finger, which I like that. And I hope that more people adopt that. Obviously, the technology being what it is very helpful in the modern age, but to a point, it can get a little excessive. So
yeah, I've been saying that lately. It's like there's a point where some people are going to say, I gotta take a step back here.
Yeah,
like I've finally gotten to that point. I just want to kind of take a step back, and I feel like that's going to happen more and more.
And plus,
Absolutely.
man, there's potential gold in VHSs and stuff like that. Like, for example, for those of you who are just tuning in and just learning about Paul, go check out his content. But there's a video specifically that I'm speaking about where you helped save a piece of Nirvana's music history.
Yeah, that's true.
He had an audio recording of a show that didn't have any other recordings.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of potential stuff, in his personal collection, of course. But when you go to the thrift store, you could buy a random blank VHS or blank cassette tape, and you might find those 10 episodes of a show that's missing, or the one time this version of this song played on this station. There's a lot of gold. So I see.
Oh, sure, it happens. Yeah.
Or my 90s gangster rap album.
Yes,
yeah.
Wherever that is now.
Yeah, it's one copy. It's gone. I don't know.
I find stuff like that often. It's lost media. If it's somebody's personal, and I found tapes of people's birthday parties and people playing the piano and some garage band practicing and videotapes too of people, dancing in a hotel room and whatever. It's all that's the only copy of that that's out there. So
yeah, that's really cool.
Either destroyed or somebody saves it. And it's like, not only that, it's like, some of those people are still around and they might not want that stuff shared right now, but they're not always going to be around. So, you saved something maybe for future generations to see.
Absolutely. And then also Justin here, not a question, but really enjoyed this show. Thank you, Weird Paul, for your time and your
Thank you, Justin.
Also, a love bomb from our buddy Dart. And
thank you, Dart.
I agree with you, Brian. People do love nostalgia, man. I think that's one of the main things that I really like about Weird Paul's channel. Like, you posted a video on October 12th of 1987. You had filmed that day, and I was 2 days old. And I'm just like, oh, wow. This guy was just like fucking having a good old time, having a good time with his family, and I was barely figuring out what the hell existence was. So it's interesting to me to see these dichotomies, and I love your content so much, man.
Well, thank you. It's like there's a time now where if you go back a certain number of years now, it's very common to be able to watch videos of families, just acting out and doing whatever together. But the further back you go, the less and less of that there is, until there's none at all. And you can watch movies that were made, you can watch TV shows that were made, whatever. But to see an actual family just being themselves and stuff, there's only so much of that the further back you go. And I think that's a really special thing to be able to experience.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, you're right about that. What'd you say, Steve?
I said thank you. Go ahead and hit him with that second question, Eric.
Yeah, I absolutely will. And it doesn't have to be anything, super deep or whatever, but just what's something you're thankful for today?
Something I'm thankful for today. I don't know. I'm always just thankful to be able to do what I've been meant to do. That's what I'm thankful for, because like I said, I've gone through most of my life struggling to get to the point where I am right now, which is just, I feel like being successful is just being able to do what you feel like your destiny in life was. And not everybody gets to that point, and some people never even figure it out. So that's why I'm thankful that I could be able to experience that feeling, the wonderful feeling that I am just doing what I feel like I was meant to do with my life. Makes me very, very happy and grateful.
It's much more rarity to get to do what you love to do, man. So, that's an inspiration to everybody.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do have one more question for you before we get out of here.
Uh-huh.
Are you still getting messages from the lady that's trying to call her brother?
Oh my gosh. I was dying.
No, those did stop. I think I got 3
Damn it.
altogether.
Ah.
3 altogether, and I think I still have them all saved. But I think she must have finally realized that she was calling the wrong number, or that somebody told her she was calling the wrong number. Not that she was calling the wrong number, but that somebody said, "I didn't get your messages," and then she started calling the correct number or something. But those were special.
Oh my
I had a very special relationship with Noreen without ever speaking to her.
Yeah, that's just, I love that popped up, and just hearing her talk, I'm just like, that's amazing. Just getting.
It was somehow
That's another
comforting.
thing. Freaking voicemails, man. I cannot tell you the last time I got a voicemail from somebody.
Yeah, nobody does that anymore. That's
no,
what texting,
you just
that's
call
what
and you
texting is
and
for.
yeah.
They don't answer. I'm hanging up.
Yeah. Which I'll tell you this, I do have, and I need to find another way to save it, but like I have voicemails from, like, he hasn't passed away or anything like that, but like I have voicemails from like my grandpa that like I will never delete that. You know what I mean?
Right,
I
of
will
course.
keep that shit forever. So anytime I do get a voicemail that is something good, from a family member or whatever, I find that I need to find a way to save this, because you don't get that kind of stuff anymore. That's for sure.
Dude, I got my mom called me every year on my birthday and sang me happy birthday. And so after so long, I would let it go to voicemail, because she would just leave it on my voicemail. Then I have it. And she passed away last May. My birthday's in April. So I have the last time she called and sang me happy birthday before she passed on voicemail right now. And it's like, I can't even listen to it, but it's there for someday.
Yeah.
That's cool,
That's
man.
awesome.
At least you have
Bring back answering machines, damn it.
Yeah, right?
That's the thing. If I'm ever at the thrift store and there's if there's a tape inside an answering machine, I always try to buy the tape, because usually that tape is going to have the messages still on it.
Gold. Sherry?
I'm sure the best messages are the ones that people leave for themselves. Make sure to buy aspirin and shit like that. Those always crack me up.
That's great. Yeah.
I just always find that funny when I'm watching old shows and stuff like that, and people are like, "Oh, do you mind if I check my messages?" And it's they on somebody else's phone, and they call their answering machine, and it's just like, man, what a time. Like, that was the norm back then. Now you ask to touch somebody's phone, they're like, what?
It's crazy, man. The norm has become so different. And the norm only lasts for so long.
That's right. The norm only lasts for so long.
Yeah.
That's the takeaway.
Yeah.
Paul, thanks again.
Absolutely.
I really
Paul,
yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I don't want to sugarcoat it, man. You really do bring a lot of joy to my life, and a lot of people that I've talked to and have showed your content to feel the same exact way, man. So please just don't stop, man. Keep doing it. Keep making new content. I really, you're making a positive change in the world, and I'm glad you're in it. So
thank you. It means a lot. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, Justin said it best. Weird is forever, baby.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And you know what? If you're not a little bit weird, I feel like life's just a little bit too boring. Being weird makes life fun, man.
There is a t-shirt, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Paul, do you have anything you'd like to plug for anybody that's not already following you or subscribed to you or anything like that before we get out of here?
I don't know. I'm on every platform, so you just look for Weird Paul because everybody uses different platforms. I've found out not everybody likes the same thing. So, but I do like I'll do different content on different platforms. So whatever you're on, just find me there.
Documentary on Tubi.
And you can watch the documentary on Tubi. It's on YouTube too.
On YouTube, that's where I watched it. Was on YouTube.
Both are free, so it's really cool. You can get it.
Yeah, it's awesome. I highly recommend anybody that's not seen that documentary go and watch it. It's phenomenal. I love it. But you boys got anything before we get out of here?
No, I'm good, brother.
Hey, this has been the weirdest, most wonderful Wednesday I've had in a long time. Thank you so much, Paul, for coming on.
Thank you.
Been an absolute pleasure. It definitely has felt like sitting down with a celebrity the entire night because I literally just finished your documentary and I'm just like, oh, that's him. Oh my God. So this has been super cool, man.
Thanks.
But as always, we have been the DWO podcast. I am Big Rig Eric Maffey. He is Mr. Magnificent Mike Martin. He is the wrestling t-shirt guy, Bo Cephas, and he is the original vlogger, Weird Paul. You can check us out on all the socials at DWO_podcast, Facebook at the DWO podcast, TikTok at DWO_pod. Get that dad merch at Pro Wrestling Tees, TeePublic, or message us directly. Like, subscribe, listen, follow, hit the bell for notifications, all that good stuff. Wherever you're watching, listening, just it helps out a lot. I know Paul you've been doing that for 40 years, trying to get people to like and subscribe. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, trust me, we understand the feeling. Yes. So we appreciate you coming on here so much. And until next time, Top Dads out.